You thought the farm episode was boring and pointless. Wait until I tell you about the most boring and pointless episode in 19 Kids and Counting. Duggar's in the Zone. Already right off the bat, it's the worst episode ever because it's a Josh-centric episode. And it mostly has to do with this fucking car lot. But before that, they give a Mackenzie update saying Mackenzie's a baby and she's doing good. Also in this segment, we found out that they got a kitten to get rid of the mice problem. Well, the only way to get rid of a mice problem is to get rid of the big mouse. The pest. Josh. That was what I was referring to. Also, we never see this kitten again, so hopefully the kitten's doing all right. I know this was like well over 12 plus years ago, so hopefully the kitten's thriving. The Pest explains how they have the second car lot, which is bigger, which is right down the road, thanks to Google technology in 2011. But then the bank decided to not take their offer and they were leasing it month to month. And the bank said, we're not going to lease it to you anymore. So they had to move out. And of course, they had to get the whole Ding Dong family to come along. John David looks happy. Jill and Joy said it was fun helping out moving, which is bullshit because no one has in their life has ever said that moving was fun. And when Ginger was asked where they moving, she said she had no idea. So the communication in this family's fantastic. Josh takes his family out to lunch as a thank you, I guess. Then they had to move all the cars from the car lot to their small-ass car lot, including a limo. So yeah, they had to fit all these fucking cars into the small-ass car lot. That's a headache. And then Josh explains that he found a new property to expand his business, also known as the Taco Lot. It was a former taco restaurant that they thought would be a great location for a car lot. I just think of the Pizza Hut that like closed by me and now it's a urgent care and they kept the whole frame of the Pizza Hut. So now they have to go to a zoning committee that has to approve of their buying of a restaurant to turn into a car lot. And of course, Jim Bob's here to save the day. They said no. So now they have to go to the city council in order to overturn what the zoning commission says. That's right. Most of this episode has to do with boards and commissions. Fun. So as a thank you, Josh decides to take his other salespeople out to dinner. And there's another guy named Josh. And one of the wives asked, how do you tell the difference between the Joshes? And Josh gave this answer.
Okay, so now that you're both in the same spot, how do you differentiate when somebody says Josh? Is Josh 1, Josh 2?
It's both. If you're like getting onto it and you're scolding somebody, it's him. But if it's like all good, if it's praise, you know, if somebody's really grateful, they're talking about me. I'm not convinced.
Yeah?
And of course, we have to see Josh paid the bill because he is such a wonderful guy. And he hopes that one day somebody will write letters of how much he's a giving person when he is in a federal trial. So then they're back at the council meeting and Jim Bob is all excited because he gets to bribe into them saying yes. Also, why is there tense music playing in this? There is no need for the tense music.
We're back at the Springdale City Hall, and tonight we're going to go before the City Council. It really depends on who's here tonight. If some of the councilmen are gone, it can go down. So you've got to have 5 votes to pass it. But if they're all here, hopefully we'll have enough that will be pro-business that will go forward.
I'd like to welcome you here tonight, just a few minutes away.
Jim Bob and his fucking face. And they all hesitantly say yes, and they get to turn a restaurant into a car lot. Oh my God, this episode is like watching paint dry, but even something happens when paint is drying. So moral of the story is that eventually Josh moves to DC, gets into a scandal, then goes back to the car lot, even though it's in a different location, then it gets raided years later, and now he's currently in federal prison for CSAM.